Okay, I am super excited to be doing this call for Kristen. It's so funny that she's not here and it's just me with you guys, but I am super honored to be here doing this. And so I was thinking about what we should talk about. And the one thing after I prayed about it and I knew I would get some good revelation about what we were supposed to talk about, and team building came to my mind. So I have some super awesome tips for you about team building today. And we are going to try to keep this until right about 25, 26 maybe, because we got to go get on the call for Jennifer on our Shooting Stars call. Oh, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, it said my internet connection was unstable. Okay. Anyway, so team building, super important. Who feels like they need a little bit of extra help in the team building area? Virginia. Yeah. It's always a learning process.
We can always use it, right? We can always use that.
That's right.
Ooh.
Awesome.
I think I see Amber walking. Can I introduce you to her?
Sure, yeah.
So, Amber, are you there? Okay, we'll wait. She's picking up her daughter right now.
Okay. I just muted her real quick because she was outside. Okay, so number one, team building. We're going to talk about designing your team and how you want it to look. And let me tell you a little story. In the very beginning, as a brand new distributor, I got excited at anybody that was breathing and or walking, maybe. I mean, that's not necessary. Breathing is necessary. And so I would ask anybody to join my team. Anybody that showed any sort of interest in joining my team, that's who I was all over. But over the years, in my wisdom that I have gained, we don't have to do that. We can be choosy about who we want to be on our team. We don't want just anybody and everybody, right? We want people that want to do this as well and that have a heart for other people that want to share this mission too. So you can be choosy, and that's why I'm calling number one, design your team, because you can design it. So that was my first point, is that you can be choosy. So what I want you to do is a little exercise. You don't have to do it right this second, but you can do it when we get off if you want to, unless you have people that come to your mind. Identify 5 people in your life that you admire and respect. Now, when you're thinking about these people, try to put Juice Plus on the back burner for a second and just think about people that come to your mind that you admire and that you respect. And then write those people down. We can start with 5. But of course you can list as many people as you want to. But this is a great way to get started. And think about if you would love to work with those people. Okay? Don't write their names down if they annoy you, or if you don't think that they would have a very good work ethic, or you might have a problem working with them. Don't write them down. So write people you admire, you respect, you trust, and you would want to work with every single day. Okay, 5 people. And if they come to your mind now, go ahead and write them down. If not, you can do this exercise a little bit later. And when you're writing them down and thinking about how you're going to ask them and invite them, think about how you know them, and use that when you're talking to them, when you're sending a quick text to them. I thought of you because. Think about what came to your mind when you were writing those people down. Whether you admire them, you trust them, you respect them, whatever it is, use that word. And when you're texting them, you just say, hey, I was just thinking about who I love and admire, or whatever the word is that you came up with for this person. And I thought about you. Would you be open to learning a little bit more about what it is that I do? And just keep it super simple like that. We don't have to go into detail about, oh, I've known you since the first day of kindergarten, and just like revamping the history. You only need to give just a few little lines and see if they would be open. So use that, and use your relationship. Each person personally, more than anybody else does. So use your relationship to talk to them and make it personal. Number 2 is keeping a memory jogger. How many people have a memory jogger here or know what that is? Okay, so
I run a list of people that you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Or yes, I like to call it a memory jogger. Running list is totally good too. I like to use I have different methods, and my method of choice currently is a composition notebook. So, like the old composition notebooks that you used to use in school, like those, that's what I like to use. And so on my page, I will put the name of the month at the top, and then I will write down all the people that I'm either talking to. I can section it off about who I'm talking to about the business, who I'm talking to about the product, and just keep their name on that piece of paper. And then as I talk to them, I can make notes by the side of them. I can cross them out if they became a customer, if they transition into becoming a customer. I usually write their name down below, so I know to send them a note in the mail, or take good care of them as a customer. But if they're still on my list by the end of the month, I just flip the page, make a new month, and add them to the next month along with any new names that I want to add for that month. But that's how I like to keep track of my memory jogger. That helps me a lot, and it's all in one book. Or you can use a spreadsheet or a Word document. I also have, I've flopped back and forth between these two methods. I have one that is an accountability DMO that I made after I heard a training from somebody, an NMD in Canada. And this one I like to use as well if I am feeling like I want to use my computer that day. Sometimes I just throw my notebook in my bag. If I'm going and I'm working somewhere else, I'll use that. But if I'm on my computer, I'll use this. And I'm going to show you guys my screen real quick to show you this document. And I can share this with you if you guys want to. But can you all see this? So I just have different sections, and I type in their names. So new prospects for the business, new prospects for customers, follow-up, customer care, team care. And I can just, the reason why this is so great is because when you're done with it, you just erase all the names in there, or add them again to your next month list, and make, you can make adjustments to, because it's right on the computer. So anyway, so I can share that with Kristen too if you would like to have that. But that way, when I'm doing my customer care, or anything, if I go to sit down and be intentional about my business that day, I could pop that up on my computer screen. I don't have to print it out, and it's right there. I could just go about my work, and it just keeps me reminded of who I need to talk to. Okay, number 3, keep your funnel full. So imagine a funnel, right, with a bunch of people in there. So full is not 10 or 20 people. Full is like 50 to 100 people. So think about in the very beginning, you talk to, sometimes this happens. I know it's not happening with all of you, but sometimes this happens. You go and talk to 10 or 20 people, and you say, oh my gosh, I have exhausted everybody I know. I don't know anybody else, and there's 20 people in my funnel, and that's it. So what's going to happen is that's going to seem like a lot of hard work, because you're going to have to suck all of those people dry until there's nothing left, and then that's it. You don't have anybody else. But when you're constantly filling your funnel, 50 to 100 people, there's more to harvest. It's like seeds in this little funnel, and then there's more to harvest. You don't have to just keep sucking those 10 or 20 dry. You can just keep dripping on every single person in there, and you're more likely to have more people come out of that because you have more seeds that are in there. That makes sense? So it'll seem easier to you if you have more people in your funnel, and that takes time. It's not going to be instant. So, no matter where you are in this business, if you're brand new, if you've been here for a while, keep going, keep talking to people, and keep putting people in your funnel. And I promise you, one day, it's not going to seem as difficult as it is in the beginning, because in the beginning, you're only working with those 20 people or 10 to 20 people, okay? So keep that funnel full. Number 4, you want to arm yourself with your business story. So does everybody feel comfortable about their business story? Why they joined Juice Plus as a business? Yeah?
What if it's not a good story?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I didn't really join for the business. I just joined for the discount.
Okay, well, you know what? I guarantee you there's thousands of other people in the world that want to join for the discount too. So you can be honest with people, because I guarantee you, Marcia, your story is growing. you're probably not still here because you want the discount. It has probably evolved into something bigger, right? So you can't, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought you said why. It has evolved, but I thought you said why did you join the business?
I did. But
okay.
Your business story is all of that, though. It is why you joined and what it is now. That's all the same. So you can lead with that, when you're telling people, to be honest with you, I joined because I wanted the discount. But over time, it has evolved. And you can tell your story from that perspective instead of just, I'm here for the discount and that's it. But, share all of your story. And I think that's not my next point, but I have that somewhere in here too, is to share all of your story. Don't hold back with any part of it, and don't be embarrassed about any part of it, because you never know what is going to hit somebody in a certain way. You never know. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors in people's homes or their lives or what they need to hear. And so maybe the discount will be appealing to them, or maybe they're a mom and they just want a community of people that they can get involved with. So share all of your story, no matter what it is, and have that down pat. And what I have learned over the years too is to always tack on a little bit of my business story right behind my product story. So when I'm sharing with somebody, a short version of my story is that my daughter had severe constipation. That's why we got started on Juice Plus, and my finances were terrible. And that's why we started sharing the product, because I needed an extra $500 a month. But then once I learned what amazing things it was doing for my daughter's body and for our family's body, how could I not share that with other people? So I always tack on a little bit of my business story with my product story, to where it just kind of meshes together and flows. And super easy. Like, you could share that running out of a burning building. Like, that's how you should know your story, is that fast, to where just little bullet points, that's how you want to be able to talk to people. And maybe they'll latch on to one or two things, and maybe not. Not everybody's going to resonate, or not everything is going to resonate with everyone.
Come on, Mike.
And then, what Bree always asks too, and this is really great, is, if somebody comes to us, which, people say this all the time, I'm having a hard time building my team. And the first thing that Bree will say is, okay, how many times have you shared your business story today? And they'll just be like, deer in the headlights, not at all. So you have to remember too, if you're not sharing your business story, people aren't going to join your team, because the number one reason why people won't join or won't sign up for the product is because they're not asked. And so if you're sharing and then you're kind of asking, you have more chances of them joining your team. So just keep that kind of in the back of your head too. How many times have you shared that today or this week or this month, Okay. Number 5 is raving fans. So we have to remember that some of our very best distributors are going to come from that group of our raving fans. And how do we get raving fans? We have to take really, really good care of them as a customer and point out the experiences that they're having, kind of drag that out of them a little bit, to help them to realize that they are having a better experience than they even might realize that they're having. So the better you take care of your customers, the more chances that they're going to become a distributor as well. Sometimes not, though. I have a customer that has been around for as long as I have as a distributor. She signed up when I had my very first wellness presentation. And she is a customer. She loves her Juice Plus, loves her shakes. Her family loves it, but she doesn't want to be a distributor. And that is totally fine. And that's the amazing part about our business, is that we are product driven. We're not specifically business driven. I mean, we can be both, but we really do believe wholeheartedly in the fact that Juice Plus works, and we want to get people healthy, and that's our first mission. So respect that too. If your customers just want to be a customer, that's totally fine as well. And invite. Don't assume that your customers know that there is a business opportunity. Sometimes they don't, believe it or not. And so we have to ask them. Never assume that they understand. So maybe you have a really raving fan customer and they're just chugging along, taking their Juice Plus and loving it, and you've never invited them. But if you simply just say to them, I love that you are having such an amazing experience with Juice Plus. Do you think that you have anybody in your life that might need to hear about this too? and I could, and then that's a really great question to ask. And, they might start racking their brain, and you never know, they could turn into an amazing distributor. Also, we have been doing something called friends and family calls that have been absolutely amazing. I actually did my first one last night with a team member. Bree and Lita have been doing them for quite a while, and Danette and Rebecca have been doing them. There's a couple other teams that have a script and are doing like this whole big to-do. No, we like to keep it simple. And because keeping it simple also keeps it duplicatable. So people on the outside that are watching are going, oh, well, I could do that. I could get on the phone and share my story with somebody. And so what I did last night, so I have somebody in my downline. Her name is Rachel, and she really wanted to do an event. She's going for her 2,000 plus. She wants to get people in a room and do an event, but she couldn't coordinate all of her friends. And I said, well, let's just do a friends and family call. She's like, I never heard of that. So, and it was my first one, and it was super easy. And I didn't complicate things. We just kept it really simple. And so she invited about 7 friends to get on the phone. About 5 of them got on. And what we did was, they all got on the phone. Rachel got on for maybe 30 seconds, and she thanked everybody for getting on. And then she introduced a little bit about me and just handed it over to me for the rest of the call. It was 15 minutes start to stop. And it was very simple. I simply shared my story. And then at the very end, I thanked everybody for being such a great friend to Rachel and supporting her, and that we weren't here to sell them anything. We just wanted them to be aware of what Rachel was doing so that they can support her as she goes about this business and does her life. And everybody was great and super friendly, and that was it. And so I opened it up for questions. A couple of people got on and asked questions. And of course, at the end, I said, if this makes sense for you and your family, awesome. Or if you're thinking about a couple other people in your head that might need to hear about this, then you might think about doing this mission too, and that would be great as well. But if not, that's okay. Just support Rachel and encourage her as she goes along with this. And it turned out awesome. It turned out great, and it kind of removes the elephant in the room a little bit when you invite your friends to come along and hear what you're doing. Then they know that it's not something that is like you have to stay away from your friends that are selling Juice Plus, It turned out really great. So if you guys ever want to do them, Kristen, I'm sure it's easy to do. Kristen and you and anybody that you want to get on the phone, and it's easy. And you guys, just so you know too, Bree and I were talking about this the other day. We have a Shooting Stars conference call line, but it started to get kind of confusing because Bree was doing the calls, I was doing the calls, and then we might overlap sometimes. I wanted you to know there is a way to get a free conference call line. I'm not sure how it would work for overseas, but for the States, I know. freeconferencecall.com or freeconferencing.com, either of the two. And you can sign up for a free conference line and invite up to 50 people or something like that to get on. So that's an option too for you guys to have your own conference call line. I had one of those for a very long time. Anyway, okay, we have a few more minutes. Marcia, did you have a question? I thought I saw your...
Oh, no, I was going to ask about the friends and family. So that's for prospects, or that's for current customers that you maybe want to do the business?
It could be however you want it, whoever you want to invite.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, it can look like whatever. Okay, number 6, now what? You have these new team members, you have been talking to prospects or whatever. When somebody is interested, get them plugged in. We have lots of resources and tools that you can plug people into. So shootingstars.com or jpshootingstars.com, that is our website. If you guys have not been there, you should do that. If you have a prospect that's just looking at the business and you've already talked to them and they just need a little bit more, you can send them there, and there's a tab that says take a peek, and they can check that out. And there's also a new rep launch call every Monday night, and we also call it a take a peek call because we share our stories there as well. So you can invite either new distributors or people that you would like to join your team to those calls, and they're about 20 minutes long. And those are a really good option to get them plugged into. And we also have on our JP Shooting Stars website a Getting Started tab. So once they have listened to the new rep launch call, they can go on to the Getting Started tab and watch the videos, tools, and resources there. And then number 7 is Casting Vision, which is super important. And it's very important to help cast this vision with somebody that has been doing this for a while, that can really share the bigger picture, that has been to conferences, that plugs into events, that can share that vision that maybe somebody that has been in the business for not as long doesn't really know yet. So drag your upline into these three-way phone calls. Like, you should be doing three-way phone calls or three-way Voxer chats to let your upline really pour in to that vision piece for your brand new person when you get a brand new distributor. So like me, if I have a brand new distributor frontline to me, I will grab Bree still and pull her in on a three-way Voxer chat. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, she's been doing it longer. And so maybe she can say something to them that they would hear from me differently or from her differently. So it's important to do that as well. Getting them to an event as soon as possible. For those of you, it doesn't matter where you live. If you have customers that are in the States, and you can go to the virtual office, or you can search different Facebook pages on Facebook to look for any Prevention Plus lectures that are in their area. If you guys don't know what Prevention Plus lectures are, they call them PPLs. There's doctors like Dr. Sears and Dr. Valerie Miles and a bunch of different other people that are affiliated with the Juice Plus company, and Juice Plus sends them around the country to do different events, and you can plug your people into those. Sometimes there's a fee, sometimes there's not. Usually it's a $10, $15 fee. It's not that big of a deal. And if you don't live where they live, it doesn't matter. You can still contact the coordinator for the event and ask them to greet your person when they get there, and they will totally do that for you. So get them to an event so they can see the bigger picture for themselves. In-home events help them to do their own wellness presentation at home. I hope all of you have done, or at a third-party location, you know, at somewhere neutral. You can do it there too. If all of you have, I'm sure all of you have done your own presentation, right? And if you haven't, they're super easy to do. And we can talk more about that later if you still need some guidance on how to do an event, but do an event and teach your new person how to do an event. And then regionals and boot camps, those are a lot of fun as well with the Juice Plus company. And then conferences, that is the biggest piece to really show somebody the big vision, not only for our team, but for the entire company, and how hard the company is working behind the scenes for us, how much support we have at the home office. That's really important to show people. And just all the tools and resources that are there for us. We cannot take that experience home. We just can't do it. Somebody would need to go and experience it for themselves, because it's a lot about what you feel and hear and see and who you get to meet and all of that stuff. And I think we talked about three-way Voxers already, so make sure to have three-way Voxer chats when you get a brand new distributor. So say, for instance, your frontline to Kristen, it would be you, your new person, and Kristen on a Voxer chat. That way she can pull out kind of what their goals are and all of that. So, okay, does anybody have any questions? No? You can unmute yourself if you do. Or I can unmute you, Faye. Okay, there you go.
I just had a quick question. So I heard somebody say something when you were talking about the presentation, the wellness presentation. I can't remember the name, but they said, use so-and-so's, you know, closing. And it was like, if you can think of this for yourself, you think of it for someone else, or if you think that you would join there was something like that. Could you tell me where to find that, or where we could go over that? Because I think that might have been the first one.
Right. I use that closing a lot, and it's ABC close is what I call it. And so the first one is, maybe you're here and something that I have said about, you know, making some healthy changes resonated with you, and you're going to go home and drink more water, or maybe you're going to go home and exercise more. Awesome. We did our job. That is why I do what I do. I love to inspire healthy living. Or B, you know, number two is, maybe you're here and Juice Plus makes sense for you and your family, and you're ready to get going. And that's when you pass out the order forms and pens and get them, you know, filling out the order forms. Tell them I can take your order right now. Or C is, you know, not only, you know, maybe Juice Plus makes sense for you and your family, but maybe you were sitting here during the presentation thinking about all kinds of names of people that also need to hear about Juice Plus. Maybe joining this mission would be a fit for you as well. And so I just kind of close it up like that. But it kind of puts that picture in everybody's head that it doesn't matter why they came or what resonated with them. It's all important. You're welcome. Okay, we need to stop the recording and jump off and get on the Shooting Stars call. But if any of you have any questions after this, feel free to message me or box me or whatever, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. It was great to be on here with you.